You know, we spend a huge chunk of our lives trying to learn things. But have you ever stopped to think about how much of it actually sticks? Today we're going to talk about turning learning from something that just happens to you into a skill that you can actually master. Let's dive in.
We've all had that aha moment, right? That little flash of insight where everything clicks. But what happens next? So often, it just fades away. What we're going to do here is figure out how to capture that spark and build it into a real, lasting fire of understanding.
So here's our game plan. We're going to start with a problem that I think we all know too well, the forgetting curve. Then we'll get into the solution, reflection. We'll break down 3 super simple habits and 2 really cool visual techniques to make it happen. And finally, we'll talk about how all of this puts you back in the driver's seat.
All right, first things first, let's talk about the leaky brain problem. You know that feeling where it feels like great information just pours in one ear and flows right out the other? Yeah, that.
It's such a classic situation, isn't it? You're there, you're nodding along, it all makes perfect sense, but then an hour later it's like, poof, it's gone. This happens to everyone, and it's usually because we're just sitting there, passively soaking it in, instead of actively doing something with the information.
So what's the fix? Well, it's not about cramming more or studying harder. It's about learning smarter. And the key to that is a powerful, almost magical process called reflection.
Now, I want you to pay close attention to the words here: integrating, revising, deepening. This isn't just sitting and thinking back on something. Oh no. Reflection is the work you do to connect the dots between what you just learned and everything you already know. That's how you build strong connections in your brain, turning flimsy memories into solid knowledge.
Okay, so enough with the theory. How do we actually do this? Let's get super practical. Here are 3 simple habits you can literally start using today.
First up, the reflective journal. Now, don't panic, this is not about writing a perfect essay. Think of it more like a sandbox for your brain, a totally low-pressure spot in a notebook to just mess around with what you've learned and figure out what you think.
And to get you started, here are some incredibly simple but powerful questions. That second one, what parts were easy, what parts were hard, that right there is a game changer. It's like a spotlight showing you exactly what to focus on next. Okay, our second habit is the think log. This one is a little more specialized. It's not just about what you learned, but how you were thinking. It's about becoming aware of the mental tools you're using, like problem solving or spotting a weak argument.
For example, try asking yourself, how would I explain this to a friend? I mean, that's the ultimate test, right? If you can teach it, you truly know it. This is all about sharpening your mental toolkit.
And the third habit is the fastest one of all, the exit slip. Seriously, before you shut your computer or walk out of the room, you just take 60 seconds to answer a few questions. Think of it like a powerful, final handshake with the new information. And just look at these questions. They force you to boil things down to the essentials. And, maybe most importantly, admit what's still fuzzy. That last one, what one question do you still have? That is pure gold. It's your brain literally telling you what to figure out next.
Okay, your turn. Quick pop quiz. Just pause for a second and ask yourself, what's the single biggest idea you've gotten from this so far? Go on. See, you're doing it right now. You're reflecting. Let's keep that momentum going.
All right, we've talked about a few writing habits, but what if you're more of a visual person? Well, you're in luck. Let's look at 2 techniques that help you literally see your knowledge take shape. First, we've got knowledge comparisons. This is all about making your learning journey visible. Instead of just feeling like you're getting smarter, you're creating an actual record of your growth. It's incredibly motivating. And check out this simple structure. Every week or so, you fill out a new row. But that last column, how I can improve, that's the engine for your progress. It turns looking back into a plan for moving forward. Now, this next one, 2-column notes, is an amazing way to stay engaged while you're learning. It's designed to stop you from just mindlessly copying things down and forces you to interact with the material. So it's simple. On the left, you write down the key facts or interesting bits of info. But the magic, and I mean all the magic, happens in the right-hand column. That's where you argue, question, and connect ideas. It transforms note-taking into a conversation. So, we've just covered 5 really powerful strategies. But how do you go from just trying them out once or twice to actually making them a part of who you are as a learner? Let's wrap up by looking at what that journey looks like. Think of it like leveling up. You start at beginning, just giving it a shot. Then you move to developing, where you're using it, but maybe not thinking too much about it. The huge leap happens at applying, That's when you start using a tool and paying attention to how it's helping you. And the final level, innovating, is when you become a master, tweaking these strategies to fit you perfectly.
And this is the main takeaway. These aren't just little tricks for school. They're tools for life. Whether you're learning a new programming language, picking up a musical instrument, or just trying to understand the world better, these are the techniques that separate surface-level knowing from deep, true understanding.
If you remember just one thing from all this, let it be this idea. Information is cheap. It's everywhere. But understanding, that's rare. That's valuable. And reflection is the process that creates it.
So, I'll leave you with this final question, which is really more of a challenge. Don't just file this away as interesting information. Pick one. Just one of these tools, maybe the super fast exit slip or the 2-column notes, and actually try it. Today, start building your reflection superpower. You might be amazed at what you can learn.